This is Stampy, and welcome to part number 2 of my behind-the-scenes video of me designing my Cookie Crumble restaurant, which I believe is what is going to end up being named. If not, then sorry, excuse me, that's the name it is at the moment as I'm designing it. So this is where I am at. I designed this in the last episode. This is basically the interior. Pretty simple as far as restaurants go. Basically, it's a giant cookie, and then a bunch of cookies are going to go flying out from the walls when it's cookie crumble time. At the moment, it's all linked up with water, which is why you can see it dripping. I think I'm going to switch that around because I came up with the idea to build this thing underground, and so I'm going to be building a fake restaurant on top of this restaurant, which isn't going to be a cookie restaurant. It's going to be a beetroot restaurant. And I had a look in my lovely world, and I just wanted to make sure that there's nothing red too close. The closest thing is my Snack on Track restaurant, but it's far away enough. So I was thinking of maybe building this restaurant out of Neverwarts because, like, I don't want this place to look too ugly. I don't want it to look like a joke ugly or too boring, but I just want it to look a little bit unappealing, the kind of place that you wouldn't really want to go to eat, you know, compared to a cookie restaurant. So I think I'm going to involve Neverwart at some point, because I've not really built out of Neverwart before either, and it'd be good just to let people know that you can build out of Neverwart, just in case people don't know. And yeah, this is kind of the design that I have at the moment. So imagine if this was a square with it cut down the middle, which is basically what this is. I have the idea of this being the inside of the restaurant here, and kind of like this little wedge, and then there'll be like an outdoor seating area that will be marked here where you can go and sit outside. It's actually quite an interesting design for a restaurant. It's kind of a shame that it's all for a fake restaurant, but what it does do is it very naturally conceals all of my redstone. So the way the secret entrance works is there's going to be a cauldron. As you take the water out, it opens up, and that's how you're going to be able to go underneath. Just because there's only one corner, it's very kind of natural for me to kind of cover it here. So I feel like I might have a fake wall along the back here, just blocking off this whole area. It kind of fits in pretty nicely anyway, so there's going to be just nothing behind it. This is just going to be wasted space. Could even do the same thing on this side here to make it even, but I think it might be okay the way it is. I could even maybe go like, do like a triangle like that or something. I think it's fine. I'm not worried too much about the interior, but as a rough shape, I think that's going to be okay. So this oak wood is kind of to mark where like the countertop is, and I kind of imagine it may be going like this as well, and then this is going to be like where the staff will be, well, won't be because it's going to be fake, but you know what I mean. The staff will be here, and then people will come in and order what they want. Then we'll maybe have like a doorway here somewhere, and then that's how they're going to get outside to eat their beetroot outside, even though no one's going to actually be doing that. It's just the secret entrance to the cookie restaurant. So yeah, that's kind of the idea right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a lot of this and a lot of this type stuff, just kind of building different blocks in a row, saying like, you know, maybe the mixture of Neverwart and concrete powder might look nice, or, you know, with some clay or something. I'm just going to kind of play around with these colors. I imagine that this stretch along here will mainly be a window. I could like this diagonal bit. I think will look quite cool. So maybe this wouldn't be the best idea, because if that's going to be a window, it might look a little bit weird. I could kind of just do it so that it'd be kind of obvious it's hiding redstone, but who cares? So that could just kind of go back there like that maybe, or maybe it could go along for a little bit and like this, and then kind of go back to there like that. Just as if maybe this could be like a storeroom area or something. I don't need to worry too much about the interior for now. So I think these two walls won't have windows, and then this basically will just be a giant window. So yeah, let me go and have a play around with some of the colors. I think I'm just going to completely design this wedge first, and then kind of plan what the outside is going to look like. Hello, quick little update. I've done some good work designing the Beetroot Restaurant. And when I say good work, I mean I've done good work making it pretty disgusting and looking like a restaurant that literally no one would ever want to go in. So this is what I came up with. It's so disgusting. Look at these warty walls. Icky, icky, icky. So I went for, this is red Never brick on the underneath. Then we have the, what's actually called Neverwart block here. And then we have some red stained clay. The red is relentless here. We got some, I think these are acacia doors or jungle doors. I think these might be acacia ones. Yep. So they're there. It kind of like pokes out a little bit if you kind of look at it from the top. It doesn't make, it kind of ruins this line with this little pointy bit, but it allows me to fit the doors on. And I think it looks quite interesting as well. I don't mind it there at all. yeah, haven't worked out the inside at all. I just thought it looked disgusting, which is exactly what I was going for. And I was very happy with how ugly this build was. Normally, I'm trying to make my builds look nice. This one, I wanted it to look pretty disgusting. And I think I have achieved that beyond the capabilities of... I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but yeah, it looks ugly. That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't know what the roof's going to be. So I wish I could have some half slabs of these blocks, but there's only just kind of the full blocks of them. I don't want to use nether brick because it just doesn't really make sense with the rest of the style. So don't know exactly what the roof's going to be. I was kind of also playing around with the idea of doing some like little stained glass bits like this poking up. I don't know, maybe not. I just thought it might be interesting. And also, if you kind of look at a beetroot, it kind of has that little bit poking up at the top. So, who knows? But I'm going to go and play around a little bit. So, I think I'll do... Yeah, I'll try and do the roof and most of, like, the floor and stuff on the inside and kind of mark this area. I'll try and get most of the inside done, and then I'll kind of check back in with you and kind of show you what I came up with, and we'll see whether it changes at all. And then we'll go and, once again, as I said, kind of start tackling the outside after that. I was just so proud of how ugly it was. I just had to show you. Right, I think I've pretty much worked out the inside, so brace yourselves. It's very, very red, I guess is the way to describe it. It's almost overwhelmingly red. So, welcome to my beetrootique. I think I'm going to call it the beetrootique because it just sounds hilarious. So, I went for some acacia for the countertop up here. Some lovely acacia furniture with some very red tablecloths, I guess. Red wool for the roof. Then we got concrete for the ground. Basically, every type of red block. Well, not every type, but most types of red block are involved in some way. The counter worked really well. So rather than doing what I said about before, where's my last mock-up that I did of this? Yeah, so I was talking about having like a wall going across here and stuff. I actually worked out it really fits in really well, and it's great for hiding the redstone because the whole building's in this shape. It kind of like, that kind of just blends in quite nicely. It's all nice and symmetrical, and it hides the redstone perfectly. So if I go behind the counter, let's not jump over, let's be civilized, and let's go and take out the water. This opens up, and then that's how we'd get into the actual cookie restaurant. I like this, fits in perfectly. Got some little beetroots up on the wall, and I think I have successfully created a restaurant that literally no one would want to enter. But that's just the outside. That's just the outside. I now need to work out what the outside's going to be. So I'm not entirely sure what the design's going to be. I really want to use something other than red. It's painful to only use red, but basically it's going to go out like this and kind of complete the square shape. So it's going to go to here, and then this one is going to go along here like that. So I think I might do probably an acacia fence around this like part here where the diamond blocks are, and then just have a bunch of seating on the outside. There's a few seats on the inside, but mainly it's going to be the outside. And then yeah, that'll be my rather hilarious beetrootique completed. And then I just need to work out how it's going to be properly linked up with the actual restaurant. And then I need to redo this redstone as well because I don't like the water because it all kind of seeps through the floor. I like the idea of the water rather than it practically making any sense. So sadly, observer blocks, as funny as they are going to have to go, and it's going to be a little bit more boring redstone, so I'm probably going to end up just not even doing it in video when I do my lovely world, but who knows, we'll see. A lot of people do moan when I do things outside of video, and I want to try and keep as many people happy as possible. So yeah, let me go and work out the outside, and I'll show you what I came up with and any other changes I might have come up with in between now and then. Right, I think I have just finished my beetroot. I love that name. I love how bad that name is. So this is it. I set it to nighttime just because I was kind of working out where some of the torches should be placed, and much easier to do that at night. But let's go and switch it back to today and show you what we've come up with. So I use a lot of fences. I was trying to work out what the outside should be, and yeah, fences just look really nice. It kind of makes this I guess a bit of a canopy over the top here, and then it kind of nicely links around all of the fences here. Loads of torches to keep it nicely lit up. The same sort of seating on the outside. I went for concrete powder on the outside, one of the few red blocks I hadn't used so far. I mean, we really just got like terracotta and maybe like concrete. I also looked at Netherrack, and it was just one step too ugly. Like the whole thing's uglied by just how red it is. But yeah, Netherrack was just one step over the border of ugly to where it looked like too much of a joke shop. But at the moment, it just looks like a little bit of a, not even necessarily ugly. I quite like the design. I almost feel like it's a waste doing this design on a fake shop, but it's going to be next to all of my other shops anyway, so maybe not so much. So yeah, this is pretty much how it's going to end up. A funny realization I did just have is I'm planning to build this right behind my Fancy Pants restaurant. It kind of just lines up exactly perfectly. This is 17 blocks along, by the way, if you were wondering, 17 by 17, if you count it as a square. And yeah, the back of my Fancy Pants restaurant used to have a really nice view of the water and the lighthouse and stuff, and it's got a big window on the back. But the view you're going to now get from the Fancy Pants restaurant is this. It's going to be like the ugliest view in the world. I find that kind of funny. Like, I don't really care about it. It's not a problem. It's just a rather funny thing, kind of side effect of the fact that we're building this thing here. So yeah, this is it, pretty much complete, ready to go. I feel like no doubt there's going to be a few changes. Maybe the seats are going to be in slightly different places and stuff. Maybe what's behind the counter will change a little bit. But those are the kind of details that I can just sort of deal with when I go and record it in the episode. So the only other thing I want to do now is change this redstone around. I've been kind of putting it off for a long time. I guess I need to get rid of all of these dispensers as well. Actually, let's get rid of these first before I accidentally set off this redstone. And a nice quick way to get rid of the redstone, just go and use the water to get rid of all of that, no problem. So yeah, I need to break away the observers. I need to keep the droppers exactly where they are, because they're going to kind of stay where they need to be. And then I need to kind of link this up with trails of redstone. And then there's another big decision which I still haven't worked out, because at the moment, let me go up here, there's just a button on the ceiling that you press, and I don't like that. I like the idea of it being more hidden. I wonder if there's a way like you could invisibly set off redstone by just standing on a certain block, because this is carpet under the ground as well. I just like the idea that Fizzy can kind of secretly set off all of this redstone. There's so many secrets in this this thing that I'm building. Like, I just don't like the big button on the ceiling. It's just too obvious and boring. So yeah, I'm going to try and come up with a more interesting way for the redstone to be set off. And now I'm doing it underground. It just kind of frees up so many more opportunities where I can basically do whatever I want at this point. Like, it doesn't really matter too much. And I think I'm not going to bother building a version which is completely linked up. Like, I don't need to worry about building the restaurant on top of here or anything. Like, I can see how they link up. It's just going to link up down this ladder. I just need to kind of count how many blocks down it needs to go. So yeah, I'm not going to have to worry about rebuilding anything. So yeah, let's go and work out the redstone now. Have a little bit of a think about how the redstone's going to be set off. And then I think that should be pretty much this Cookie Crumble restaurant done, I think. I was always a little bit scared saying that, because whenever I say that, I normally come up with a new idea. But I think it will be pretty much done. So yeah, let me kind of hopefully come back in with possibly the final design for how this Cookie Crumble place is going to look. Okay, I think this should be the last update. In fact, I know it is. I have planned exactly what the Cookie Crumble restaurant is going to be, and the Beetroot restaurant as well, seeing as this kind of turned into two restaurants in one. So I spent a really long time working out the redstone. So this redstone is very simple. Basically, it's just a mess of redstone. Simple trails leading to them. It's not tidy, it's not neat, but it's all going to be hidden under the ground, so it does not matter. Also, like, it's not going to be exactly the same here, because I'm not going to copy it exactly. So this part doesn't really matter too much, but that's kind of what that's changed into. This links up down there, which is where the redstone gets set off. More about that in 1 second. But first, I've been struggling to work out the solution for my, like, secret switch, I guess, to activate the redstone. What I really wanted was it so that when you step on a specific kind of part on the floor, it sets off the redstone. I tweeted out that that's what I was trying to do. I didn't kind of say that it was for this, but just, you know, any redstone experts out there help me out. And I was trying around with a lot of different things, with pressure plates, even using redstone ore on PC. It works so that if you step on it, it sets off redstone. Sadly, it doesn't work on here. It doesn't work in any way with observer blocks. The only way it could work is if like you're literally changing a block, not just standing there. So sadly, that was not the solution either. Even people suggesting things like putting an animal in a minecart, and then if you push the minecart through the carpet and set up a detector rail, it does work. But sadly, the only animal small enough for it to not be seen is a rabbit, and rabbits don't work. Rabbits are too small. That doesn't get set off. Chest, you can see. I even tried using a furnace in a minecart. Basically, I spent a very long time trying to work it out. Big thank you to everyone who was tweeting me trying to work this out at the same time as well. And I kind of went back to a bit of a known solution, something that I didn't want to do, but something that works fine, and I think is going to be perfectly okay in this case, where basically you throw down an item, could be any item. In this case, I'm going to use a cookie, and that sets off the redstone. Very, very simple. Basically, all that's happening is the cookie drops down into the dispenser. This comparator registers that the cookie's in there, sets off the redstone. Then the redstone signal also loops around and then fires off the dropper, so the cookie ends up going into the chest here, so they don't go and make a big pile on the floor. So you could kind of throw in literally anything, and it would set off the redstone in the same way. I'm probably just going to do it as cookies, or Fizzy in this instance is probably going to do it as cookies. That's the way it all works. I basically linked up the exact same thing underneath here. And so if I go inside of the restaurant and I start throwing some things down, I think it's this one is the one. Yep. Then that should go and start firing out all of the cookies. Very, very simple. And then I also decided that I'm going to kind of do fake tables. So the way I'm going to do my tables is by just having blocks of wall kind of poking out the ground like this. So you can kind of just stand around these, I guess, and eat your cookies, kind of like a cookie bar. Of course, this one is going to have to be covered up as well. So I think I'll just have it over some orange wall and have it completely hidden, so no one is going to know how to activate the cookie crumble event unless you know exactly where to throw it down. I worked out the height of the area. I have dug out the area in my lovely world as well, so it's kind of starting to get ready on that front as well. A lot of people would say about showing how I kind of set it up in my lovely world and do all of that side of things. The reason I don't is one, because it's a little bit boring, and also there's just like a lot of stuff to do with lovely world which I just like to kind of keep a little bit secret, like in terms of the way it all works. Mainly it's kind of like the special episodes, but I kind of like to show you how I design it, but then kind of the steps in between, you know, it's just generally just a little bit less interesting, because basically I just need to kind of dig out a giant area and kind of get everything prepared. So yeah, I don't really intend to do any more behind the scenes videos like that, but yeah, there will be more like this coming up in the future. So if you haven't seen me building this in my lovely world yet, there will be links in the description to probably the many episodes I spend building both of these things. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one. I think this was a pretty good behind the scenes one, just because it changed so much. Like the initial idea changed a lot, and then, you know, it ended up completely changing when I came up with the idea for this. And I think that, yeah, even if you have seen the videos already where I build this thing, you know, you might think that I immediately came up with that idea, but it kind of almost accidentally kind of came up. So I think this is a good example of how my train of thought can sometimes work when I'm designing these things. But yeah, that is the end of this episode for now. There'll be new behind the scenes videos coming up very soon on this channel. But for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye!